Hey guys, Chris here, aka Bricknit, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the Mandalorian Razor Crest. Now, if you like awesome LEGO videos, then consider subscribing as I pretty much do one every single day. But let's get into the review. So here it is, finally. We've waited for absolutely ages to get this. I think the pre-orders went back since March, I think, or just after March, as I remember originally pre-ordering this on May the 4th. Now, I pre-ordered it, then I did a video saying should I cancel my Razor Crest, as it just didn't look as good as I originally wanted it to look like, and after the hype died down, I had a look, checked out the minifigures, checked out the build. I wasn't too interested, so I did actually cancel my subscription from LEGO. However, because Diagon Alley came out, Steph, Mrs. Bricknit, went to the LEGO store anyway today, and she just picked it up, she saw it, and she knew I kind of wanted it. So I thought I'm going to do a review, see if it is as bad as I originally thought, what I would prefer to do, and maybe I'll do some modifications on this anyway. So, before we get into the Razor Crest itself, let's take a look at the minifigures. So, first up is the Scout Trouper. Now, I believe he is a fairly new version of the Scout Trouper because he now does have the molded, dual molded helmet, and he does have a non-generic clone trooper face now, so that's pretty cool. He has his own kind of face, which I just think is really, really nice. Other than that, he's just a pretty generic Scout Trooper though. He's got nice printing on him, don't get me wrong. No side printing as usual though, and does have some nice printing on the back. But pretty generic nonetheless. He is just a Scout Trooper, and if this is going by the actual Razor Crest, seeing that this guy's in, there should really be two and there should be a speeder bike. But I've said that before, that's one of the pet peeves I have of this set. So, going down the list again, the next is actually the Mandalorian. I'll put him as one of the lower characters because realistically we already got him last year with the AT-ST Walker. He's exactly the same as that. Still doesn't have a face, even though we actually do know what he looks like underneath the helmet now. So this is pretty much just exactly the same minifigure. This is one of the biggest complaints I had with this set. I would have loved to have had this as the new Beskar armor. I think that would have been really, really cool. Or even just a variation on this, because he actually does get only part of the Mandalorian armor during the actual show. So it would have been pretty cool if he had just part of the Beskar armor, just a slight variation, because I don't think we'll be getting that many Mandalorian sets. Maybe we will, maybe we won't, but I'm hoping we do, because we've had two opportunities now to get Beskar armor Mandalorian, and we didn't get either. So, next is IG-11. Now, you'll be thinking, oh, but we've already had this guy. No, apparently he is unique because of that face print. And just to prove it to you, here is IG-88 from the Battle Pack last year. And there's just a slight difference in variation on that face, and that is it. They're both the exact same color, they both have the same guns, the same terrible clip on the back that hasn't been changed. It's just the exact same minifigure. So realistically, to me, this is just exactly the same. That little one-by stud thing, just not worth it for this character. But I have got him, so it is technically a different character. Then, the best minifigure in the set, bar obviously the child Baby Yoda, is Greef Karga. Now, this guy is awesome, and it's great to have a minifigure like this where he's not really a main character. I think he'll have a bigger part to play in Season 2, so it is really nice to get him. I've then done a great job with him. He does have a second print, which is pretty nice on his face, so that's pretty cool, seeing as the other guy doesn't even have a face, so it is quite nice. At least we do get a double face printing on there. He also has two guns, and I just think they have done a pretty good job with this guy. No leg printing though, pretty standard with most Star Wars figures, but the torso is pretty nice nonetheless. And then obviously the reason that most people are going to be buying this Razor Crest is for the child Baby Yoda. Now this guy is absolutely tiny. It's obviously a baby fig. The printing on him is not the greatest. It's kind of like got quite a big kind of border around it, but he is pretty cool. His face is kind of rubbery. Bit worried about his eyes potentially getting damaged, but I'll just have to make sure I'll be very careful with him and not play with it too much. But he's very, very cool nonetheless. And you can actually clip him onto the Mandalorian himself by actually putting him in the hand like that. So you then can actually hold Baby Yoda, which is pretty cool, which I think you can actually do in the ship cockpit that we'll get to. So that is the figures. So is the figure range really good for a £120 set? I don't think so at all. I do think that we should have at least had Kuiil, definitely, because we have had Cara Dune in the last set, so it would have been nice to have had the 4, because IG-11 on his own here makes no sense because he's Kuiil's droid, and then not having him I just think is a real disappointment. So to fix this, I've actually bought an Ugnaught on Bricklink, in which I'm going to slightly modify and maybe look at getting to turn him into Kuiil. So maybe I'll do a video of that as a kind of a vlog style later on, but I'm definitely going to do that. So I've got the actual 4 main characters from the Mandalorian Series 1. So let's move these minifigures to one side and let's take a look at the actual ship. Now, this thing is actually a lot better in real life than I thought from the pictures, because these wings aren't actually as shallow as I thought. They're not too bad. I definitely think they should come out more, maybe more to be here to kind of coincide with the real one. And the main issue that I have, the main bugbear, is these little bits here on the bottom, these skis, because the actual Mandalorian ship, they come out from the sides here, and it just looks way cooler with that kind of style. And also it's slightly higher, so then the ship has a lot more kind of impact when it's landed. The way I'm going to fix that is actually just by putting it on a stand. I'm going to take the actual these little ski bits off and just have it on an angle on a stand. I think that will look pretty cool then, and then have the minifigs underneath. So I'll wait for someone to build some sort of acrylic stand, or even potentially a plaque with a sticker. I know a lot of people do those, and I think that will definitely make it look a lot better. But going into the actual features of the ship, these are really nice. These are the actual way they built the engines. I think they're pretty cool. That is a one big sticker there, and there's a couple of stickers here and inside. The set isn't actually too bad on the sticker front. That is the entire sticker sheet. So these were where the two big engines are. These are where the side ones are here. There's 4 of those to go around, and then there's just a couple that are kind of hidden around. These two at the bottom are my main concern, and they are actually the carbonite people inside. I really think that the people that are frozen in carbonite should definitely be nice prints. That would have been really cool and would have made the set feel a lot nicer for me. But anyway, that is stickers all around that you can see. They're all stickers there. No real printed pieces in this bar, the piece in the cockpit. So this bit at the front is really nice how they've done this. This is actually a snot technique that you then clip on. I think that's really, really cool. And then basically the entire side's open like so. The back comes down as well. And then the sides at the front come out as well. So pretty cool, as well as that bit there. So that is the actual area where the Mandalorian sleeps. That's very easy to put him in there. So the Mandalorian can go to sleep in his sleeping quarters, but other than that, the rest of this build is really, really bare. That's all Technic pieces to hold it all together, which do look pretty ugly, but I mean, it is kind of like Slave One. They are kind of ugly, kind of transport ships, so that's kind of acceptable in real world. It's not too bad, but I do think that they could have done a little bit more on the actual accessories of how it should look and things. But anyway, these two grey bits here are the people frozen in carbonite that I was on about. This would have been really, really cool to have had these as prints, but they're not. They are stickers. At least they are different, which is quite nice. And they do look pretty cool. I just wish they were prints, because it would have just made them last a little bit longer. But they have a nice little area here to be kind of put in. We have no actual place where he does actually freeze them. So that would have been pretty cool if it actually seemed like a carbon freeze chamber or something, but we don't have that sadly in this set. And then if we turn it around, where the sleeping cargo is, the other side, you actually have the you can store the flick fire missiles down here, which is pretty cool, but it only comes with 3. So if you're putting 2 in the ship, and then it only gives you room for 1 spare, which is a bit of annoyance. I wish it would have like maybe 5 flick fire missiles. They're not exactly expensive anyway, and I'm going to fill mine up with spares that I have from other sets. So that is pretty much the entire thing with all the panels open. You then just kind of flick them all back up. These all come together, that flicks around. Same on the back here, and then the front goes up there. So that is where the kind of cargo hold area is for the ship. Then let's get on to the actual cockpit itself. So this bit has a little hook here which you pull out, and that is where you can actually have access to the inside of the cockpit. It has 2 red chairs, so this is actually a lot better than I originally thought. I said this could only hold 1 minifigure. It can actually hold 2, which isn't too bad. And because what was showing on the screen, on the pictures on LEGO, was this forward like that. So it made it look like there was only 1 seat, but that is so you can actually put the Mandalorian's gun inside this area. There are 2 clips. So you can clip a couple of guns in there, maybe his and like one of IG-11's, which is pretty cool. And then you just push that down and they're kind of concealed. So it's quite a nice way to store weapons whilst you're kind of flying the ship. And then basically you get the Mandalorian, who's currently in his sleeping quarters. So let's take him out. And he can go nicely flying the ship at the front. So when I originally saw the pictures, I thought that there was a little area for Baby Yoda to go. That's not the case. What they actually do is they put Baby Yoda on the Mandalorian's arm, as I was showing you earlier. And then that allows Baby Yoda to look like he's kind of sitting next to him in the ship, like so. So you could also put him on his lap as well, but I think that's kind of how they wanted it, where you kind of have him holding him, because then you can easily close the cockpit. It does have enough room definitely to do that, and you can see Baby Yoda in the cockpit there, pretty cool with the Mando. It also allows you to store 1 more character, so you can easily put Greef Karga in there as well if you wanted to, and they can all kind of be going off on a mission. Sadly, you wouldn't be able to put all 4 characters in there though. You might be able to have enough room actually for standing, but I really doubt it. They're really going to be in there tight. But there we go. It does hold technically 2 minifigures and Baby Yoda. Again, I wouldn't know how else they would have been able to put Baby Yoda into the actual cockpit. It would have been nice maybe if you had a little stud, one little stud area, it was like a little seat for him. That would have been pretty cool. And it also would have been really nice if they'd have found a way to almost like get the little gear knob handle that he has in there. That would have been really cool, but they haven't put that on here. It's literally just a printed tile piece for the cockpit. So one last thing is actually on the top of the ship, there is this little escape pod. I've not seen this used in the actual film or anything, so it's a bit of a weird thing, but you can actually pull this open and put a minifigure in here. So just as an example, I'll put the Scout Trouper in here. He should clip on to the back with his legs, and then you just clip this over, and he should be able to just go in this little cockpit, like so. So it's like a little escape pod. I think this may be used later on in a next series or something. I haven't seen it used at all in the series 1. Let me know if that's the case. I don't remember this being used at all in series 1, and I have watched it multiple times. But there we go, there it is. And then you can just kind of pull out like there, and it just kind of drifts off. So maybe if the Mandalorian ship explodes or something in series 2, he can escape. Hopefully not, because the Razor Crest is an absolutely awesome ship in the show. So the one last thing is that you can see right here, these are the flick fire missiles. They are activated on the top here, and you just literally press that button down and it shoots them off. Pretty nice that they're concealed, so that's not too bad that you actually can't see them, which is quite nice. And if anything, they just kind of look like little lights or something on the ship, which I think looks quite cool actually. So I do like how they're hidden, and it makes it look more like a display piece than like an actual toy or something like that. So I think this does look pretty nice as a display piece, and I do think it has quite a lot of swishability for a child as well. You kind of have to hold it more at the back. It is kind of heavy, a little bit front heavy where you're kind of holding it, but it's pretty easy to move around and stuff. So pretty nice nonetheless. Okay, so now I've bought it and built it. Have I changed my opinion on it? Yes and no. I still think this has been a very rushed LEGO set, and I think that's a bit of a sad one because I think people are going to rush to buy this. I know it's already kind of backlogged on the pre-orders and things, and it's been out for a long time on pre-orders, and they still can't quite handle the demands of it. So I think it's going to be a very desirable Christmas set, definitely. But I think that it's a bit annoying with the minifigures. I think they definitely should have included Kuiil. I'm still going to keep saying that over and over again. We need a Kuiil, and it's really sad that we didn't get him, especially because he is definitely a main character in Series 1, which is when this is supposed to take place. I also think we should have had a Beskar Mando. So yeah, just I think the minifigure selection here is a bit weak, definitely. But the set itself isn't actually as bad as I thought. It's actually pretty decent size for minifig kind of scale. I think these engines here definitely could have been a bit bigger. And my biggest kind of pet peeve is definitely these skis on the bottom, because it just doesn't look like how the Mandalorian ship is when it lands. That being said, if you're someone like me who kind of collects them more and has them as more display pieces, I'm going to remove those. I might try and mock build some better kind of actual landing gear, or I'll just have it in flight and have some sort of built base stand that'll have it kind of flying and take those off completely, because they just do look really, really odd. But the rest of the build I think is great. I think the cockpit looks really good. The front here definitely does look like the Mandalorian Razor Crest, which I think is absolutely awesome. And the wings aren't as bad in real life as you see from the front. More from the side, they don't look quite as impactful, but I do think that they kind of look okay when you actually build it. And I do think there's some pretty cool, clever build techniques in this set. As for stickers, I was actually quite surprised that there weren't as many stickers as I thought, but definitely a dislike on the stickers was the fact that the 2 people frozen in carbonite are stickers and not prints. That would have been absolutely amazing to have those, and it would have made it an even more desirable set in my opinion, and for collectors. But that's it for my review of the Razor Crest. Let me know in the comments down below if you're going to be picking this one up, or whether you agree or disagree with what I was saying about this set. I definitely think that there are some big Star Wars contenders for this set at the moment. You've still got Tantive 4 out, which is a great set, and that AT-AT Walker, or AT-AT as some people call it. I think that's a great set as well, and it's only £20 more than this, and I do think it has better minifigures, and it is more screen accurate. But if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, as it really does help me out, and I try and do as many awesome LEGO videos a week. But other than that, have an absolute awesome day.
Hi, Lord Vader here. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel for more awesome LEGO videos. Or if you'd like to see any more Star Wars videos, check out the playlist up here. Or if you'd like to see any more awesome LEGO related content, check out the video over here. I have to say that this channel is impressive. Most impressive.